TV.
I'm
Are they here
bilingual.
too?
I can be Spanish and English or French and English, whatever you like.
Okay, Coach, what everybody's wondering, first preseason game out of the way, second one's coming out. What's going to be different about this game compared to the first?
Well, we'll have another look. We kept 8 starters behind in the last game we went to Winnipeg, so the fans will get their first look at some of our returning players that have the potential opportunity to start for us, and we'll still be fairly vanilla in terms of what we do.
And obviously, it's the Argos here to ever win. You got to talk about that for us.
Well, it is, but we're not trying to focus on that. It's still preseason. We still have to put in our foundation for the season. Obviously, we want to come out and play well at home, and that's very important to us. But we still have a number of evaluations ongoing. There are a lot of jobs in the line still. There's only one thing certain, and I told the team that yesterday, that Nick said it will be our kicker.
You mentioned jobs on the line, and there are a couple of young receivers, both, I know probably at least 2 that are looking for jobs. How much of a challenge is that when you've got young guys, they're eager, and some of them have NFL experience, but to come here and try to make an impact here?
Well, it's a big challenge. You'll find as you put in more system throughout the training camp, there are more things to learn. The learning curve changes, and they're not playing as fast. And what we want to see those guys come out and do tomorrow night is play fast, so that we can really get a true evaluation on the speed they can play at.
One thing to have the raw talent, but I guess it's another thing to see how they work in a system.
It really is, and it's a short camp. It's only 2 weeks, and some of these guys are waggling for the first time, and different releases, and knowing that there's a free safety in the middle of the field at almost every play, and those type of things are a challenge for those guys. And some of them have picked it up really well. Some of them are still here because they still have a lot of athleticism, and hopefully they'll be able to. The light will go on tomorrow night.
For a young quarterback, Porter seems to be really intent on getting to know these young guys, on and off the field, and build that chemistry. How vital is that for that quarterback-receiver relationship?
It's critical. That's the one thing in terms of the CFL and the type of routes you run. You've got to understand the body language of your receivers and understand when they're coming in and out of their breaks, and to be on time with the football. And he's done a good job, and so is Kevin and the rest of the quarterbacks at trying to get to know these guys a little bit better and see how they move.
What's the plan for Quentin? Will he take a quarter or a half or past the half or?
Well, some of it is TBA, but hopefully he'll get a half of football in, and we expect to play him and Kevin as much equally as we can tomorrow night again.
As far as it seems like most camps are still with the Thursday deadline, there's still a lot of bodies in camp, which it's a nice problem to have, I guess.
Yeah, it really is. We took the approach this year that during camp we released players early that we didn't think had a chance to make our team, and brought other players in that we thought would be able to compete. And we made some cuts this week, about 7 cuts of guys that we didn't think could make our team. So everyone that's going to suit up tomorrow night has an opportunity to be around here in some capacity.
Marcel, last week you said the emphasis was on evaluation and execution. Does the pendulum swing a little bit more towards execution tomorrow night?
It does swing a little bit. One of the things that we talked about is that as closer you get to regular season, the more that shift starts to happen. So it's still absolutely our number one goal still to evaluate, because we have so many jobs that are on the line right now and so many good competitions going on. But the pendulum does swing a little bit. We do want to start executing, and obviously executing better, and so we'll have a look at how that goes tomorrow.
Is Kenton Keefe playing?
No, Keaton won't play tomorrow. What's
the extent of his injury, and is it a little worse than what you originally thought?
No, I don't believe it is. He was running around the last couple of days and moving well. So, obviously it's a day-to-day evaluation, and we'll see where he's at.
What is the situation at quarterback? Have you chosen a starter yet, or?
We haven't. And like I stated earlier, and to the players, the only thing we know for certain as a coaching staff and management right now is that Nick said will be our kicker.
Last year, we saw in Toronto quarterback controversy created a lot of problems. Are you concerned? Obviously, you're not concerned about that.
No, I'm not concerned about it, because we've had these discussions with our quarterbacks coming into training camp before, and we're very clear on how this thing could shake down. And we didn't anoint anyone, and it wasn't like we did a last-second signing, and we're very upfront about what their situations could both be this year.
Any idea what the Argos are going to look like?
I'm sure they'll be fine. They did some very good things last week on tape when we saw them play. So, right now our focus still is on us. It'll shift after this game back to them. But that's our number one focus is finding out which guys on our team can play and who can help us.
If I could expand that question, do you have any idea what the Ticats, Bombers, and Argos will look like when the season starts?
You've left the Alouettes out.
Well, no, they haven't changed quite as much. That's what I'm saying. Those 3 teams have basically blown up their roster and decided to go back together.
I think that that'll be a work in progress for all 3 teams. I think they'll all evolve throughout the season. So it really depends on your foundation. Right now we're working on our foundation.
you like what you have right now with that foundation?
I do like what we have at our foundation. You know, sometimes you have to temper expectations a little bit because it takes some time, and that's just the reality of football. It's not a basketball team where you can change 2 players and all of a sudden you can go from point A to point B real fast. But we have the talent, and we have the players with the right attitudes, and we have the staff. So it's just a matter of trying to spurt that growth along.
Can you pinpoint one thing that is the most improved from last year to this?
Well, I think it's not. I won't say it's one area or one area not, but I think that having those veteran guys. We went out and signed Kevin Glenn and traded for Dan Goodspeed and signed Alexandre Gauthier and Otis Floyd, Augie Berenicia. We brought these players in, these veteran type players, and we have a more mature locker room this year. We were a very young team for a few years. We brought the young core back. But that's the one thing, just the professionalism and the approach to the work to their work has changed quite a bit.
I would imagine guys like Haley and Hickman are making your job a little more difficult for the moment, right?
Yeah, they really are. Both guys came out and had great games. Both had sacks and tackles last game and did well statistically. And, so that's the challenge. Usually you come into this game and you expect to play, maybe 30, 35 guys. And we're going to have to play everyone that's on our roster to find out some of the answers because enough guys did things well last week that they warranted more playing time.
When you go and prep for week 1, will you go archive NFL Europe game film to see what kind of stuff that Anderson and staff did? I mean, he's literally kind of a unknown.
I don't know. That'll be part of the process. We'll certainly look philosophically, what they've been before and what they believe in. I think, that's a completely different game, so it's a tougher thing to look at. We'll definitely scour the preseason tapes, and that's really all you have to go with. But, I think we're pretty sound in what we do, so when we get to the regular season, regardless of who we play, what they throw at us, we should be prepared.
Expect them to run the ball a little bit more, maybe 5 times more?
I don't know. I don't know. This is the CFL. It's a passing league, so what they're doing is probably right on mark. And, we have to evaluate our pass rushers, so if it's the same, that'll be fine.
Thanks, my friend.
Thank you.